In the basement with us is our friend Hannah Cole. How are you, Hannah?
I'm great. Nice to be in the basement with you.
You know what's funny? Nobody thinks about taxes during the summer. And as a guy that used to be a financial planner, I think you probably agree with me. This is the time when you can really do some great tax planning.
Absolutely. Not to mention, your accountant will get back to you and answer your questions.
Maybe in 3 minutes.
I know, which is not true in March.
Right? What kind of mutant are you thinking about taxes in the summer? But it is funny that, everybody thinks about tax time in March and in April when you've just got the shoebox of stuff. Like for our average stacker out there, why is it that we should be thinking about taxes here as much as we're thinking about our summer vacation?
Well, you can save more. When you think about it before the year's over, you have the ability to actually do something about it. Whereas if you're only thinking about it after January 1st, you kind of missed your window already on a lot of things. So also, we're about at the midway point. We're approaching the midway point of the year. So you can kind of just look back at your numbers and double everything to give yourself a really easy projection tool.
And that's a great idea, by the way, for people. Look at it the halfway mark and go, what? Because now you still got plenty of time to tweak.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, this is even better than year-end tax planning, which happens like the phrase sounds like at the year end.
Oh, wow.
But the idea there is that you get your numbers organized so you know what you've almost made kind of before the window is closed. So you can kind of like MacGyver, sneak under that marks how old I am, I'm afraid. But like MacGyver, you can sneak through the garage door as it's closing.
but let's talk to the average person for just a moment that has a 9-to-5. I know that people with a 9-to-5 generally have a very straightforward tax situation, Hannah, but there's still things we can do that are better for our taxes that maybe we don't do. For somebody just starting out in life, what are some great tax ideas that the person starting out might go, oh, that's pretty cool, and I should do that?
Your employee benefits package is something that a lot of people, when they get a new job, they might take a look at. I hope they do, but a lot of them stick it in the drawer and they're like, I'm going to do that later. Well, if you did that, it might be time to pull that back out again and be like, do I have some, benefits that I'm not taking full advantage of? Because just taking whatever amount of time it takes you to set up, if they have an FSA, a flexible spending account program through your work, or sometimes there's childcare.
Oh, the childcare account. Oh my God. Yeah. When my twins were young, the childcare stuff was the amount of money you can save by using your benefits for that is huge.
Oh my goodness. Yes. So, honestly, for somebody who's an employee, you're probably the biggest bang for your buck that you can get with your taxes is really just looking through your benefits package and your spouse's benefits package and making sure that you're using all of those tax advantaged accounts that your employer might give you access to.
I see somebody with an HSA and I start drooling. I'm like, oh, HSA is a great opportunity.
They're sort of magical. They're kind of unbelievable. For those of you who want the definition, which I think is important to always define things, HSA, health savings account, easily confused with an FSA, flexible spending account, but actually quite different. The health savings account, the HSA, you can only open one if you have a high deductible health plan. And you have to actually go onto your, healthcare plan and look up if it qualifies as one. But if it does, you basically get access to this, this really cool tax advantage account where when you put the money in, you put it in tax-free. And as long as you take the money out to pay for eligible medical expenses, which are pretty broad, they can include eyeglasses and contacts and all kinds of stuff, then it's tax-free again when you take the money out, which, if you've ever looked at the way that the taxes work on other tax advantage accounts, like your 401k or an IRA, you only get a tax advantage on one end of those transactions. HSAs, you get a double benefit. So it's a little bit magical. You can also invest the money that's unused inside an HSA. And so that's another piece of magic. You can actually have that money be growing and getting compound interest.
Magic on top of magic on top of magic. It's like stacking coupons.
It is the ultimate stacking of stacks. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. You had an episode of your podcast recently talking about like financial health and taxes. Like I've never drawn the line between those two, and we'll have a link to this episode because I thought it was really awesome. But your financial health overall and taxes, what was your overall take there?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm glad you liked that. I think taxes for most people is really one of the only times they ever check in on their money. I know people who listen to this show will probably thinking about it a little more, and so that's great and kudos. But for a lot of us, it's really the only deep dive we do into our finances of the year. And so, for that reason, if you can tie things that are healthy for you financially to the doing of your taxes, you're going to put yourself in a better position and set yourself up well for your future. And I think that's a good thing. Primarily, the biggest one, I mean, the HSA is great. Take advantage of an HSA if you've got a high deductible health plan, always. But retirement accounts, if you're a young person without a ton of money, if you can set yourself a habit of every single year, and tax time is your prompt, every single year you max out your IRA, that's a pretty great habit. Like if you had one easy wealth building habit, that would be it. And then if you want to get deeper and do more, there's more you can do on top of that. We can talk about solo 401ks. We could talk about SEP IRAs. There's other bigger and better ones, but just that simple one, as a place to start, I think it's just a good annual check-in with your finances and an annual moment to remind yourself, did I maximize my retirement accounts? That's a good, piece of financial health.
And that's why we wanted Hannah on during the summer, because everybody thinks about it, in March. And then the second you file your tax return, it goes away. The second you file it, you're like, okay, I'm good for a year. No, you're not. No.
I know.